This is ABC7 News at 5. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Haley Wilgus.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for being with us tonight.
Our top story, Hurricane Matthew. The Category 4 storm is hammering the Caribbean with devastating winds and rain.
Matthew made landfall early this morning, battering the beaches of Haiti with torrential downpours, dangerous flooding, winds of 145 miles an hour. The devastation there is expected to be great. More than 6,000 people evacuated before the storm hit, even hit there. ABC7's chief meteorologist Bob Harrigan joins us now with the latest track and what it could impact here in Florida.
Well, the amazing thing is, Scott and Haley, is the fact that this clipped Haiti, by the way, and did not get beaten up too badly. That's unfortunate for Cuba right now, which is getting hammered by the storm. It's only about 65 miles east-southeast of Guantanamo Bay in the eastern tip of Cuba right now, and it continues to look a little healthier on the satellite imagery. In fact, pressures did rise a little bit as it moved through Haiti, and now they're starting to drop again, indicating that it is still over some very warm water. Conditions are favorable for this to stay a fairly strong and significant hurricane through the duration of Wednesday, and it looks as though it's not going to get beat up too badly as far as the central core is concerned of the circulation as it works its way over the extreme tip of Cuba through tonight and early morning on Wednesday. Right now, the biggest rain and strongest winds, unfortunately, life-threatening mudslides into Haiti, even despite the fact that the eye has already passed on through. Here are the latest coordinates, and as well as the wind speeds. They're down to 140-mile-an-hour winds sustained with gusts up to 165. It's moving to the north at 9 now, and the pressure has come down to 949 millibars, so it is dropping somewhat. And the all-important forecast path and track, the National Hurricane Center still has a lot to deal with as far as models go and the differences between them, but we know for certain that it's going to head through the central Bahamas as a Category 4 hurricane, devastating hurricane. Also now, we do have a hurricane watch in effect for parts of Florida that extend just from south of Deerfield Beach and northward up again to the Volusia County line, and then south all the way to the 7-Mile Bridge. That's a tropical storm watch. There are no warnings for us at this point, but as we move the map forward, you can see it has shifted again, once again, a little bit more to the west, which does put some of our counties in the possibility of this cone of uncertainty. So we'll watch this closely as we move on through time. We also have this graphic I wanted to show. This is the wind flow, the wind radii, if you will, the radius of the winds. And you can see that yellow coming into Highlands County, also in DeSoto and Hardee counties. There's no watches or warnings right now for those counties at this point, but that may be changing down the road. Well, more on this. Obviously, we have a few showers around here, not as many as we saw yesterday. More in your forecast coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. As Bob just mentioned, right now Hurricane Matthew is wreaking havoc in Haiti and bearing down on Cuba. At least 7 people, including 3 children, have been killed by the storm that struck hard on homes in Santo Domingo. Rescue officials reporting almost 200 homes damaged so far. This monster storm is the strongest in the region since 1963, with winds reaching 145 miles per hour. Florida Governor Rick Scott is warning residents all across the state to prepare for the worst as the storm moves toward Florida.
If Matthew directly impacts Florida, there will be massive destruction that we haven't seen in years. Matthew is life-threatening with winds of 145 miles per hour. Yesterday issued an executive order declaring a state of emergency for every Florida county. We are preparing for the worst and hoping for the best.
U.S. aircraft carriers have already set sail from Virginia with supplies to help Haitians after the Category 4 storm. And FEMA is pre-positioning resources all along the East Coast now to prepare for the storm. And here on the Suncoast, nonprofit organizations, including Agape Flights, have Haiti in mind. For 30 years, Agape Flights have made trips to the struggling nation, supplying more than 350 religious missionaries. CEO Alan Spear, well aware of the type of damage a hurricane like this can cause to the country of Haiti, says the organization is also collecting relief supplies that will be flown to Haiti this Friday.
10 by 10 tarps or larger with some sort of thickness of 12 mil or above, because they're going to need shelter. And then the water filtration tablets that purifies water.
Agape Flight says it will look at an updated picture within the next few days and gauge the amount of damage caused by the storm. The organization is still looking for volunteers and donations.
Here on the Suncoast, flooding issues are a major concern for some people who live in Bradenton. A pair of 55 and older communities suffered damage from Hurricane Hermine a few weeks ago, and residents fear it could happen again. ABC7's Rick Adams has more from Manatee County.
Right now, the streets of Park Acres Estates and the Burgundy condos in Bradenton remain very calm. This was a scene a few weeks ago when floodwaters from Hurricane Hermine filled the roads. Dozens of units at Burgundy were a complete loss, while some folks in Park Acres Estates suffered extensive damage to their home and belongings.
Being a native Floridian, you get used to this kind of stuff. You know, you just hope that nobody loses, life or anything. Material things you can replace.
One person who won't get used to this flooding is Mary McCoy, a resident of Park Acres Estates for many years. She tells us it becomes a very dangerous situation for people in this 55 and older community.
Along with being scary and frustrated, we have no way of shutting the streets down.
A big part of the problem here at Park Acres Estates are these storm drains. When there's a significant weather event, these drains get backed up, and that's when the streets start to flood. Another part of the problem is Wares Creek, which runs alongside the Burgundy condos. Once that's overflowing with storm water, it ends up in people's homes and in the streets.
That water comes up quickly, and it just runs like a river. It's very swift.
McCoy says she and others will continue to push for the county to fix the infrastructure so the stormwater will drain more efficiently. Also, she's hopeful that communities like hers will soon be eligible for FEMA funding.
That's Rick Adams reporting. We reached out to Manatee County about the problem. No one is available to comment. Preparations are underway at Sarasota County's Emergency Operations Center for any potential effects of Hurricane Matthew. Emergency management officials are urging residents to have a hurricane kit that includes a battery-operated flashlight, extra batteries, and food and water. Today, the chief discussed response plans with the State of Florida Operations Center and the National Hurricane Center. If there is a threat to the Suncoast, the Emergency Operations Center will send notice and direction to residents 72 hours in advance. The county has 21 available shelters if needed.
We also coordinate that very closely with the Sarasota County School District. There may be a school that we want to use that may be undergoing some remodeling, so it's not a good idea. They know which schools are the best to use. So between the factors of the storm and the school's recommendation, we would select those shelters.
A list of those shelters, important contact numbers, everything you need to know about being prepared for a storm is available on our website, mysuncoast.com. Just click on the Hurricane Guide.
And you can get constant updates on Hurricane Matthew 24 hours a day by downloading our app. Just search for Suncoast Weather. You'll get notifications if there are any watches or warnings issued, street closures, or flooding problems to report directly to your smartphone.
In other news tonight, Sarasota City Commissioners voting to prevent medical marijuana dispensaries from opening until new rules and regulations are put in place. Voters will decide next month if current medical marijuana laws will be expanded and allow those dispensaries to open in Florida. Last night, commissioners voting to wait 9 months before approving medical marijuana dispensaries if the amendment passes. In the meantime, city officials will look at local zoning laws and suitable locations for those dispensaries.
An update now on the proposal to renovate an old jail in Manatee County and open it as an apartment complex. Local developer Bernard Crogum has now met the minimum requirements for his proposal, which will allow it to move another step forward. His plan is to turn the old Manatee County jail into workforce housing. Rent would range from $600 to $900. However, the project still has several hurdles to clear.
The Venice Public Library's new temporary home is now open. The old library was closed last December over concerns about mold in the building, leaving residents stuck for months with just a small kiosk library at the Venice Community Center. The Hamilton building on North Nokomis Drive was renovated, and books from the old library were all cleaned and put into their new home. Library staff says they're pleased with the transition and are anxious to get things going.
There was a lineup of folks ready to come in the door, and we're delighted to welcome back so many familiar faces and people who really depend on the public library.
Today was only the soft opening. Full business hours are set to begin on Thursday. The building will remain open as Sarasota County builds a brand new library building at the old Venice location. Still to come in your Suncoast News, Tim Kaine and Mike Pence's turn on the stage, what the two vice presidential candidates are expected to focus on in their one and only debate.
And ABC7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your full weather forecast and the latest on Hurricane Matthew. Plus, coming up in Health Smart, an optimistic breakthrough in HIV research, how a certain kind of therapy could eventually lead to a cure.
What does it mean when New South Window says Factory Direct?
It means we have a factory.
It means we eliminate the middleman.
It means you get an award-winning, energy-efficient window at factory direct pricing.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. Replacing your windows will not just beautify your home, but save you big bucks on your energy bills. I've done the research. I've seen the factory. New South Window is my hands-down choice.
New South Window. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. Call now.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPB.
The official salon of ABC7. Cutting Loose Salon.
They say good things come to those that wait. Well, you've waited long enough. You deserve to feel fabulous in your fashionable new Fiat 500X from Alfa Romeo Fiat in Sarasota. Boldly innovative, seductively stylish. Fiat gives you everything you'd expect from a capable utility vehicle, like a spacious interior and advanced safety systems, designed and built like a sexy little Sportster. Don't wait any longer. You deserve to feel fabulous. Get a new Fiat at Alfa Romeo Fiat of Sarasota.
The two vice presidential candidates will face off in their only debate in rural Farmville, Virginia tonight.
With the presidential election just more than a month away and polls tight in many swing states, the stakes could not be higher. ABC's Lana Zach has the latest from Virginia.
In this election, which is unlike any other in American history, the vice presidential debate tonight may have a greater impact than ever.
Especially undecided voters might be taking a look and saying, well, maybe I could make up my mind based on the vice presidential candidate.
But while the two men in Farmville tonight, Republican Mike Pence, governor of Indiana, and Democrat Tim Kaine, a Virginia senator, are surrogates for their presidential candidates, they are relative unknowns to much of America. An ABC News Washington Post poll found that 40% of Americans couldn't name either VP candidate. But tonight may change all that.
He'll go out there in a fiery performance, especially for somebody who's known as so low-key.
Trump campaign manager Kellyanne Conway on CBS promising a debate performance to remember from Pence, who we're told has been thoroughly preparing for tonight's matchup, holding mock debates and scoping the site earlier today. Pence walks into this debate behind in the polls and following a week of controversies for his running mate, Donald Trump. including the revelation that Trump may not have paid income taxes for nearly 2 decades. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton's running mate has, unsurprisingly, her full confidence.
How is Senator Kaine going to do tonight?
Kaine looking casual touring the debate hall today, his team releasing a new ad painting Trump and Pence as one in the same. Both men expected to be on the offensive leading up to what may turn out to be one of the most important moments in this campaign.
The campaigns say that they expect their greatest audiences in the first half an hour of this debate, so expect that those punches are going to start flying right off the top. In Farmville, Virginia, Lana Zach, ABC News.
Lana, thank you. Due to Hurricane Matthew, President Obama is canceling his stops in Florida tomorrow. The president was planning to visit both Tampa and Miami to talk about the Affordable Care Act and do some campaigning for Hillary Clinton. But due to the storm, both events have now been canceled. There's no word yet if they'll be rescheduled anytime in the near future.
And a lot of things are being canceled, especially on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So they're starting to get prepared.
Right, you have to be prepared, even on the West Coast. I mean, it's not going to come across here, we don't think. There are some models that are suggesting that it could be right over the top of us. There's only one or two that do that, and it is a Navy model too, which is somewhat reliable over the years, so I might as well just say that. You know, the thing is that some people are kind of saying, oh, it's no big deal. Well, it isn't right now, but it could be, and so we have to be very concerned about this storm down the road. It's a devastating storm, Category 4.
Right.
On top of that, I think people have had enough about Matthew already. You know, we've been tracking it from the coast of Africa all the way through the Atlantic, and now moving through the Caribbean, and now into the Atlantic again. So a devastating storm. It could have some devastating impacts on Florida. And the 5 o'clock advisory has come out, and I read the discussion from the National Hurricane Center, and they're saying now the European has really built the high-pressure ridge, which is driving this thing a little bit further westward. So they had to factor that into the cone of uncertainty and move it a little bit more into central Florida. Here we go again, right? Kind of like Hermine, back and forth we go. And big showers starting to pop up. Not as big as yesterday, because that trough that drove those storms is now shifting off to the east, and a little piece of that is heading to the west, which may allow that high pressure to build in over the top and to the north of what is Matthew now. So that's not the best thing to see those troughs leave. As far as we're concerned, some showers around building, moving across parts of Longboat Key and Anna Maria Island up near Palmetto and Braden. It's a pretty heavy rainfall. This just popped up near State Road 64, and some activity near Arcadia. They don't need the rain there because the Horse Creek is actually at Bankful, and flood stage there continues. The north end looking pretty good right now. Anna Maria, Holmes Beach southward, which did have some flooding yesterday, as up to 4 inches of rain fell in just a short period of time. There are the flood warnings that are in effect all throughout some of the rivers and streams here along the Sun Coast. The good news is we don't have a lot of widespread rainfall right now, and the rain chances aren't all that great for this evening. We will see some developing here and there, but not the widespread activity and the intensity that we saw yesterday. 84 degrees, some clouds and showers near the airport. Dew point is at 74. Winds are out of the northwest at 7. The pressure actually has been dropping at 29.80 inches, and it's 82 now in Orlando, 89 in Miami, 88 in Key West, the hot spot in Tallahassee at 90, and you can see temperatures of cooler where it's raining. Cortez at 82, Gulf of Mexico now at 86 degrees, still very warm, 88 in Arcadia, and Wauchula at 85 degrees. Well, as I mentioned, you can see that trough is kind of heading off to the northeast, taking a lot of that moisture with it right now. And then the little piece of it is going to continue to slip off to the west. It's kind of split up. So there's a lot of different factors that are going on. Obviously, we have Nicole, the 14th named tropical system of the season. Now to the east of this could become a player too. They could actually do a little Fujiwara. Some of the models are picking up on that. That's where the two storms kind of dance around one another with the different flow around both those systems. So we'll see how that plays out. A lot of dry air to the north and west of us, but this isn't going to be entrained into the system quite yet. Maybe down the road it could be, but there's a lot of warm, moist air here. On top of that, water temperatures are extremely warm. Cuba, the eastern tip, Guantanamo, about 60 miles to the east-southeast of Guantanamo, now going to get hammered, and already is, by some feeder bands, and then the hurricane force winds expected to continue to batter that island throughout the night. Winds 140 miles an hour, gusts as high as 165. Unfortunately, the Bahamas, the central and northwest Bahamas, appear to be taking the brunt of the storm throughout the day on Wednesday and Thursday. And then notice that cone of uncertainty has now shifted all the way over into Highlands County, right there, as well as parts of northeast Hardee County. So that is in our viewing area, and then it heads off to the northeast. At least some of the models suggest that. Now, there are some that do a little loop out there in the northeastern portion or just off the northeast coast of Florida. We have a hurricane watch in effect extending all the way down again past Deerfield Beach all the way up to near Daytona, a tropical storm watch in effect to the 7 Mile Bridge in the Keys. And as far as the wind radius goes, looks like tropical storm force winds not out of the question for Highlands County and parts of DeSoto County. The chances are increasing. And if the European again shifts on this next forecast, which comes out tomorrow morning, it could be increasing our way. We'll see how that plays out. If the high pressure builds stronger, we'll have more of an effect here along the west coast of Florida. We just have to wait and see, though. I can't say right now it's going to be devastating or it's going to be very easy and no problem. Northeast winds at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be 1 to 2 feet with a light chop out there. Scattered storms for boaters. On Wednesday, the water temperature at 86 degrees. Tides upcoming, low tide at 9:12 and a high at 2:23. Forecast, 7-day forecast. Again, calling for windy weather on Thursday. Friday appears to be the worst. Thursday night, Friday morning, and then Saturday and Sunday, it will be a little bit cooler, a bit breezy on Saturday. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Suncoast Traffic Watch. Right now, there's a crash in Port Charlotte. There's water covering Elk Cam Boulevard at Tamiami Trail, so you may want to avoid that area. Haley?
Thank you, Scott. In health news tonight, initial results of a study are out of the UK, and they're raising the possibility that there could be a cure for HIV. The first of 50 patients to undergo the experimental therapy has no detectable traces of the virus in his blood. The two-part treatment uses the current standard antiretroviral therapy, plus something new called vorinostat, which tricks the virus into emerging from its hiding places. The drug eliminates dormant cells that lie in hiding, which are the reason HIV treatment is currently a lifelong prospect. Researchers say they must still monitor this patient's success for many years to see if it holds up. In a comparison of fitness levels among children in 50 countries, the nations with the biggest internal income disparities tended to have the least fit youth. In a University of Ottawa study, African and Northern European nations, as well as Japan, had the highest scores on cardiorespiratory fitness among kids ages 9 to 17. Mexico was last among the 50, and the United States fourth from the bottom. Researchers say people in unequal countries might face barriers to physical activity, less access to sports facilities, lower quality of food, and they all affect your cardiovascular health. A reason to be happy you have pimples. Seriously, listen up. Scientists at King's College London found that those with acne-prone skin may be better protected against aging. In a study, participants who had suffered from acne had white blood cell telomeres, which actually protect cells from breaking down as they replicate, that were significantly longer. That's what you want for anti-aging, longer telomeres. That means that the white blood cells of acne sufferers are better protected against deterioration. Zit-prone skin has long appeared to age slower than clear skin, and some dermatologists had chalked it up to increased oil production, which keeps the skin moisturized and wrinkle-free. But this new study is the first to provide a scientific explanation. Coming up, a bear of an example of a home invasion, how one bear managed to wiggle his way into a California backyard. And a dog is now a hometown hero, why the pug is being recognized by the fire department. Those stories are next.
ABC7 News at 7 weeknights.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
Get to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today for deals worth celebrating during the Jeep Celebration event. Come shop the area's largest selection of Jeep Wranglers or check out a new Jeep Cherokee priced as low as $19,999. Stop by to see the stylish new Jeep Renegade starting at just $17,699. Or drive away in a new Jeep Patriot for just $14,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WinGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WinGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today.
Investigators are on the scene of a massive explosion in New Jersey that damaged more than a dozen houses. Firefighters were called to a block in Paterson, New Jersey late this morning. First responders smelled a heavy gas odor and heard hissing sounds, so they immediately called the utility company. Moments later, those homes exploded. 2 homes were leveled, 15 others were damaged. The 11 people inside the homes were able to get out in time, but investigators are still combing through the rubble just in case. The utility company is now investigating the cause. Hundreds of tourists in China are back on the ground after being trapped in a cable car more than 2,000 feet in the air. High winds on a mountain last night forced that cable car operator to stop running cars up and down its peak. About 100 people were left stranded. Those who were waiting below were given raincoats, warm ginger soup, and hot water. The cars finally started running again this morning. The incident occurred during China's annual National Week. That's a 7-day holiday in which many tourist attractions see their highest traffic of the year.
A wild start to the week for one family in Southern California. They watched as a bear came up to their back door and tried to slip under the gate. At first, the bear struggled a little bit because he was too big, but he managed to break his way through. He stayed for a few moments and no one was hurt. The man posted this video on his Facebook page, and then just moments after the bear wandered off, he caught a photo of a bobcat lurking around. I don't know, they're leaving out food or something's going on there. Well, if you need a fire put out, just call this pug. Jackson was presented with an honorary firefighter badge by a small town fire department in Idaho. The 11-year-old dog is being credited for noticing sparks coming from an electrical outlet in his family's home. Firefighters say that Jackson spotted this just in time because the fire could have easily burned down the entire house.
Then I kind of listened and noticed sparks coming from the outlet. And Jackson was literally barking at the outlet, notifying me that something was wrong.
Jackson's owner used a fire extinguisher to knock down the fire. Firefighters say Jackson definitely saved the house and his family. Dogs do notice things that we don't.
They sure do.
They alert you to stuff.
And you know, their hearing is so good too, so they can hear things.
And their smell, and
yep.
Yeah, so they know what's going on. Well, still to come on your Suncoast News, winds, tide, a lot of rain. How the threat of Hurricane Matthew is already causing long lines at gas stations in Florida.
And the torrential downpours damaging more than just homes. We'll talk about Zika hazards the rain could bring. Those stories and more when we come back.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about
that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
Gold fever has once again swept the nation. And everyone is rushing to Florida to strike it doubly rich. Introducing the $5 million Gold Rush Doubler. We're doubling cash prizes for over $752 million in payouts. And 36 prizes from $1 million to $5 million. The Florida Gold Rush is on. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, we make sure you get the most for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. And right now, you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet. A new 2016 Subaru Forester for just $209 a month. Complimentary maintenance included. At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.